helping himself. Sometimes we're quick to like move to the center stage and die off midway into heaven.
He's been at the center stage.
Now, one more season or two, I can't talk. But I think it will be a big move for him, right? And I hope he stays happy.
But it's a good move. It's a fair move for him. But it's not a big move, right? It's a fair move for Osihmen. How is it a big move? You've been sold lesser than you were bought at Napoli. You've left a more competitive league and a more established league to a lesser league.
I don't understand this competitive thing.
No, now can you compare the Italian Serie A with
I sure can.
No,
he has proved it. He proved it.
That's what I said. It's a fair deal for him because he feels okay with it.
Yeah.
But whether it's a good move, it's a great move, it's not a great move. Because he's moved from a higher level to a lower level.
Yeah, no, a higher level to a much higher level. Congratulations.
It's the reality we're talking about.
The joy of this final breakdown or breakthrough is like he comes with Napoli at the point of that we're trying to frustrate life out of him and making things really difficult.
What they had their strategy when players sign contract. Yeah, sometimes it's easy for us to criticize Napoli, but when players sign contract, what's embedded in your contract? What are the clauses in your contract?
Yeah.
If I say I'm buying you to be my player, and before you leave, a club must meet my expectations of you, which is £50 million, for instance, and then the club comes and says I have 30, I have 20, then we live out of emotions because the player in question is not getting game time. Say, okay, I want to sell it lesser than I have valued you. They spent a lot of money in bringing him, so they wanted to recoup.
They spent, but you can say that when it comes to some players in United, it depends on the value. The good thing is that when Osihmen left, he was able to prove himself in Galatasaray.
Good.
That what improvement, that's look at the level of standard. If he had like been a flop, nobody would be talking about 75 million. But anyway, it's a seal deal and we're happy. Now, Aubameyang returns to Marseille.
Yeah.
Is he still playing football?
Yeah, he's still playing football.
Sure, I thought
he was somewhere in he was somewhere in Asia in the last season. His return to Marseille marks a big moment for him, really, because he played there about 2 or 3 seasons ago. So let's see. Well, I don't think he's that prime Aubameyang anymore.
No.
I think he's lost a little bit of touch. We already started to see the signs of his depreciation at Arsenal.
I think he started from Arsenal. So it was like the turning point.
But for Marseille, I think what he brings is experience. And one thing about experience that you cannot even buy from the market. If you like pack 20-year-olds or 5-10 Lamine Yamals, if you don't have experience, there's no experience.
So this is what our politicians used to because somebody who's calling can't even want to say we know what do you know that we really don't know. They'll tell you experience, good experience, beautiful, but sometimes you're thinking about this experience thing goes beyond the way
we always like to strike a balance. I mean, you do not pack papas and feed your team because you look for experience. You must look for the youths and the very energetic ones, and then if you
with all your decades experience of 30-40 years experience and you see backwards, you don't want to keep up. They look at the fast moving world of social media and all that. And if you have 30 years of experience, you can type your name in the C computer. Does it make sense to you?
Wow.
Actually, no. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Welcome back to Marseille. Anyway, busy window. 2 weeks and few days to the kickoff, but Manchester United are sleeping. Not really making major trade.
It was made public yesterday that they had sent a loan bid, for Dibu Martinez, the Aston Villa keeper. But United, we heard Aston Villa a loan move. Aston Villa turned it down. They're not interested. Which other move again? They want the Sesko guy. We heard from Leipzig, and they've told Leipzig they are sending in their documents soon.
Making a move.
Making a move
with less than 2 weeks to the kickoff. Does that tell you?
But sometimes these negotiations are not easy, right?
They're not easy, but then if you look at Pep, you already know mid into the last season, he knows where he's going. That the job is already sealed. Yeah. And you see what Arteta is doing. He tells you that he didn't just wake up in the morning and say this. Long-term plan. And look at execution. And
where I knew that United are not very serious was the issue of this Victor Gyökeres. Because it would have been the easiest option for that boy to have picked United over the other team. More so because The man who was his manager last year is the man who is at United right now. And the team is looking for a striker.
It does figure, but sometimes it don't go that way.
Well,
even if you have good relationship. At the end of the day, I know we work together, you're a good boss, but there are two things you have to think of. Where you going? I can't just say because you were my boss before and I have to know where.
Well.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
you have to check and balance.
Well, it could be true. It could be true, really. But I was just thinking maybe from face value, really. With the way he was converting goals and feeling happy with himself at Sporting last year, I was thinking to be an easy choice. But like you said, sometimes there is more to what we see.
Yeah, we're talking about converting goals and like say drinking water. Arsenal, the unbeaten run. They say the start of the preseason came to an end against the North London rival yesterday. They lost to Spurs.
Yes, they lost to Spurs. It was a preseason game in Hong Kong. A long range strike from Papa Matassa, saw that game decided. For Spurs, I think it's always a sweet affair whenever they beat us now, whether it's in a friendly game or in a cup game. It's always a beautiful thing, for them. And you could see how the players were excited. As Richarlison, by the way, won the player of the match award there, and the back and forth went on even on social media. Spurs players were reminding Arsenal players. And they beating them again, things like that.
And even a substitute, Gyökeres actually. I think
he came in the 77 minutes of that game.
He saw the move.
Well, of course, you could always see the signs. He's always, a good player to watch, but unfortunately, he couldn't get on the score sheet. But I hope that in future games, he would come good.
Yeah, sure, come good. I will see. I think that's how I see. Yeah, I've not really made up my mind on the team to support next season, but my mind just keep like, at the moment, you're 60% Arsenal. And I just maybe as we move, but it's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah, but if you ask from what we have on ground at the moment, the top 3 finish for next season, if you take the top 3, not about number 1, the 3 teams that probably make up the top 4, the top 3.
The top 3 teams for next season, I would say Liverpool, I would say Manchester City. Then either of Arsenal or Chelsea, either of the 2. But City, Liverpool for me would be in the top 2. Then either of Arsenal or Chelsea.
What do you expect United to end the season?
United,
what they're doing? Maybe really okay.
United maybe 5th or 6th.
No, they make 6th.
No, they should.
From what we're seeing, OJ, I'm not looking at 18th position.
No.
Okay, it's too early to say that. We can start defining the moment in 2 weeks' time. That's so interesting indeed. And the weekend is not going to be that empty. Some friendlies. Crystal Palace today again Augsburg. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, for Crystal Palace, really, I think they're still sulking over the fact that their Europa League spot has been taken away from them.
I think it's very painful.
Yeah, painful.
Yeah, come on.
But the rules are the rules. We could get emotional, but the rules are clear. Somebody cannot own 2 teams in the same competition. So they were demoted to the conference.
If you were to be like Nigeria, somehow it works in something.
In Nigeria, it's happening now. There's a law that forbids single ownership of teams. But we have Abia Warriors and Enyimba taking part in the league. we have Barao FC and Kari players in Kano.
Well, Chad kicks off this weekend and huge money coming, over $3 million for winners and all that, OJ. And first game, Nigeria up against Senegal on Sunday. Whoa.
Well, Senegal are the defending champions of this tournament, so it's going to be a high-stake encounter for us. We must get ready. We've had 2 friendly games in recent days, not convincing results though. Goalless draw against Zanzibar, 2-2 yesterday. Against Zanzibar, that's not the kind of result you really want.
Zanzibar.
Oh, come on.
If you're talking about recreation or maybe a holiday, take me to Zanzibar. not to play football, okay.
But then let's see. Really, hopefully our boys, can stand up and be counted. Like I did say this morning, we've not really had any impression made so far this tournament. The first edition we finished was this second. Since then, it's been very disappointing one for us. We've even not qualified for the last 2 editions of this event. So hopefully this would afford us a chance to stamp our foot again on the ground to say, look, we're a footballing nation and our football, because it's a reflection of the domestic league. If these players who play their trade on the domestic front cannot go to the champ tournament and prove themselves, then they have no business even making the main team.
Yes, and errors.
Yes.